name's Robert and welcome to Managing Stress and Assessment run by NQual. We're going to run through the best practices to support your learners and staff throughout the EPA process. Let's have a look at what's included in today's workshop. This recording is a shortened session of what would normally run for managing stress with our training providers. The training today will help us understand stress, recognize its signs and explore ways to support apprentices before and during their endpoint assessment. So, what is stress? Well, stress is the body's natural response to pressure or challenges. While some stress can be motivating, too much can negatively impact health, performance, and overall well-being. We're going to look at the signs of stress. Those common signs that include feeling of being overwhelmed, anxiety, irritability, difficulty concentrating, and even some of the physical symptoms. We're going to run two activities around what makes an apprentice stressed, but also what stress occurs during the whole apprenticeship journey. We're then going to provide you with essential information and documentation that you can take away and support those apprentices during EPA. Finally, we're going to review our command verbs and how understanding and using those correctly in assessment can reduce the stress during EPA. And overall, we're going to look at the managing stress and alleviating assessment day stress and some of the practical techniques that we can use. So let's get started. To be able to manage stress, it's really important that we understand what stress is. Stress is the body's response to pressure. Many different situations or life events can cause stress, and it's often triggered when we experience something new or unexpected that threatens our sense of self-worth, or when we feel we have little control over the situation. We all deal with stress differently, and our ability to cope can depend on our genetics, early life events, personality, and social and economic circumstances. When we encounter stress, our body produces stress hormones that trigger a fight or flight response and activate our immune system. This helps us to respond quickly to dangerous situations. Sometimes the stress response can be helpful. It can help us push through fear or pain so we can run a marathon or deliver a speech, for example. Our stress hormones usually return to normal quickly once the stressful event is over, and there won't be any long-lasting effects. However, too much stress can cause adverse effects. It can leave us in a permanent stage of fight or flight, leaving us overwhelmed or unable to cope. Longer term, this can affect our physical and our mental health. During our full presentation, we go into detail about the areas and signs of stress. What's important is that everyone deals with stress differently, and here are some of the things that you might feel, how your body might react, how you might behave, and importantly, what too much stress can lead to. So now we know what stress is, we understand what impact it might have on an individual. Let's take a moment to reflect on the different factors that cause stress for apprentices. We've created this template below to enable you to write down your thoughts on what might contribute to stress during the following areas. Stress can impact us on our personal life, considering factors like finances, relationships, family responsibilities, or health concerns. It can impact us in our work life, with our workload, a pressure from employers, strict deadlines, or balancing the work and the study. And finally, throughout the apprenticeship training and endpoint assessment, we can reflect on some of the challenges such as assessments, learning new skills, meeting assessment plan expectations, or preparing for endpoint assessments. This activity will help us identify common stresses and understand how they impact apprentices. Once completed, we can then discuss the key findings and explore ways to manage these stresses effectively. Take a moment, pause the video to be able to complete this template, and we'll review it together shortly. Great! I hope you found that really useful and being able to gather the thoughts of yourself and colleagues about what makes an apprentice stressed. It may differ from what we've found, and that's okay. Let's run through some of the stresses below. With apprenticeship-related stress, apprentices may struggle with a lack of support, leaving them isolated. There may be unrealistic expectations that create pressure and anxiety. Inadequate training making it difficult to meet the requirements of the assessment plan. Confusion over training and leading to uncertainty and frustration. They may be feeling unsure about their apprenticeship or even realizing that they're on the wrong apprenticeship altogether. If we then start to look at work-related stress, within the workplace, stress can stem from many a place, including job security, causing uncertainty about their future. Management challenges, whether a lack of leadership or pure communication. Difficult working conditions, including high workloads or an unhealthy environment. A poor work-life balance, leaving little time for rest or personal commitments. Interestingly, even positive events such as company away days or promotions can be stressful due to the added responsibilities or pressure. Finally, if we look at personal stress, outside of work and training, apprentices may also face personal challenges such as bereavement, which can be emotionally overwhelming. Some relationship difficulties, including breakups or conflicts. Family and friendship issues, which can be draining and distracting from work and the apprenticeship. Divorce and separation, leading to major life changes. Even financial challenges, which can impact both mental and emotional well-being. We're going to now look at our second activity about what makes an apprentice stressed during the whole assessment process. We're going to look at the apprenticeship all the way from onboarding right through to the delivery of the results. You can use this template to complete the apprenticeship, work or job-related factors, as well as the personal factors which may affect your apprentice and their stress levels during and after Gateway, and how to prepare effectively for each stage. You can pause the video and start completing this template, and we'll review the apprenticeship part on the next stage. Great! I hope you found activity 2 just as useful. Let's walk through the key stages of an apprenticeship, focusing on best practices to manage stress and ensuring apprentices are fully supported and informed throughout the process. Firstly, let's look at onboarding and initial assessment. During onboarding, it's essential to set clear expectations and provide the right tools to reduce uncertainty. Why not share the support pack, a guide with key information to help apprentices feel prepared? Provide them with an introduction to the apprenticeship. Working with your EPAO, you can provide a clear overview of the journey and what to expect at endpoint assessment. Make it sure you are clear on the timescales and the outcomes, and that these are transparent to alleviate stress. Consider how your initial needs analysis or assessment is there to tailor and to support and address the individual concerns early on. Let's move on to on-program. Preparation and ongoing support are critical to reducing stress throughout the program. You can use the mock questions for professional discussions, observations, and for online tests to familiarize apprentices with potential EPA scenarios. Further information and information webinars will help provide a clear guidance on the knowledge, skills, and behaviors that are used within the mapping documents. Make sure you have access to these mapping documents, as they will provide an excellent resource throughout the EPA and Gateway process. Review your off-the-job training and ensure adequate time and skill development is there for reflection. It's worth considering that supporting apprentices with mock professional discussions, observations, and creating clear opportunities for development. Best practices for stress management are to break down tasks into manageable steps, to use templates and tools to create clarity and to reduce confusion, to provide ongoing communication and feedback to keep apprentices informed and focused. The next phase is Gateway. This phase is about ensuring readiness while reducing stress. The Gateway form should be clear and easily accessible by both employer, training provider, and the apprentice. It should have all the requirements to ensure apprentices understand the criteria and the next steps for EPA. NQual user tech check. This is a one-to-one meeting that avoids last-minute issues by ensuring all systems are functional and the apprentice has a clear understanding of what to expect at EPA. This is also independent of the independent assessors. We offer high-quality guidance and documentation that provides clear instructions and resources to reduce the anxiety during EPA. Consider how much access to provide to the evidence and resources and how they can access this and the compliance tools that they use to build up the confidence and to streamline their process during EPA. Ensure that they have the essential information and documentation and that the apprentices and staff are fully informed through detailed timelines, guidance, and templates. Use checklists and tracking tools to ensure readiness at each stage. Within EPA, the EPA is a pivotal moment where the preparation meets the opportunity. Your independent assessor is a supportive and unbiased presence. Make sure the apprentice is aware of time management strategies to pace tasks effectively during EPA. Your assessor can be there to support and guide you with that time management of the assessment. Prior to the EPA, you can use the mock questions and revision guides, and they're key tools to build confidence. Consider coming into EPA with a calm environment and ensuring that you feel prepared and well supported by those around you. For stress management, the best practices for EPA is to help apprentices prepare through mindfulness techniques and stress reduction strategies. You can provide guidance on what to expect before, during, and after the EPA. The next step is our results. The results phase should focus on growth and reflection. Choose an EPAO with really quick turnaround time so that your apprentice isn't waiting for those results to come after they've completed their EPA. Choose an EPAO with excellent feedback, and if there is a retake or reset process, that it's transparent, constructive, and supportive to allow them to achieve the best results they can. Have regular review meetings with your EPA manager to reflect on outcomes and identify areas for future improvement. It's worth considering setting realistic expectations and discussing the next steps to support further development. By focusing on these stages and using the best practices for stress management, we can create a positive and supportive experience for our apprentices. Clear communication, well-organized documentation, and proactive preparation are key to helping apprentices succeed with confidence. Together, we can build a pathway to success. I'm now going to hand you over to Jane, our EPA expert, who's going to run through understanding command verbs and how important they are for relieving stress during assessment.
Understanding command verbs can help to reduce stress for apprentices. Where the command verb is anticipated, the apprentice can prepare for how to approach the question and the level of detail required. Command verbs will vary depending on the level of apprenticeship and whether the criteria is a pass or a distinction level. Apprentices can find command verbs associated with their own KSBs within the apprentice pack or in their assessment plan. There are some definitions on this slide which we can also share with you as a separate resource. Here are some examples of grading descriptors taken from the Coaching Professional EPA plan. In the first example, providing a considered justification would involve giving rationale or reason for the choice of techniques. Evidence should be provided to support the rationale, in this case, examples of how the techniques were used effectively. A convincing argument is required. In the second example, evaluating the outcomes of a coaching session would involve appraising the value of the session against the goals of the stakeholders, in the case of this example. In the third example, an explanation is required. Here, the expectation is to make it clear how the contracting process is conducted by providing details and context. By breaking down these grading descriptors and looking at the command verbs, apprentices can better prepare and reduce stress for their EPA.
Now that we understand what stress is, how to identify it and its impact, let's explore how to manage it effectively. Stress management involves using strategies to reduce, manage and cope with stress in a daily life. While stress can sometimes be a positive motivator, much of it can affect your mental, emotional and physical well-being. Stress management techniques, and we'll cover more of these in detail in our full session, include physical activities, exercise and deep breathing, relaxation techniques like meditation and MMR, muscle relaxation, time management including prioritization and planning, healthy lifestyle choices including nutrition, sleep, reducing stimulants like alcohol and drugs, social support, connecting with others and seeking help, cognitive approaches like positive thinking and stress journaling, while taking part in hobbies and recreations and activities that help relax and recharge can all reduce stress. Within the workplace, we can use workplace strategies such as delegation, boundaries, and taking regular breaks. And there's a lot of mindfulness practices, including apps that allow us to stay in the present and be self-aware. In our full session, we'll explore these techniques in detail to help you develop a personalized stress management plan. There are also things you can do to alleviate assessment day stress. Preparing for EPA can be overwhelming, but with the right mindset and techniques, you can approach it with confidence and control. Here are some of our tips. Like practice makes perfect. The more you prepare, the more confident you feel. Use those resources that you have access to, such as your apprenticeship packs, mock questions, and revision guides that will help you prepare and practice your EPA. Collaborate. Why don't you seek support from your mentors, tutors, peers, and employers to collaborate with your EPA and practice getting ready for that all-important day? Your EPA is about showcasing your knowledge and skills with your confidence. Don't forget to sell yourself during that period. It's your time to shine. You can prove your experience. You've been doing this for the last 12 to 18, 24 months on some programs. Use this opportunity for EPA to shine. Plan your time throughout the assessment. Take time to stay focused and pace yourself through those KSBs. And remember, your assessor is on your side. They want you to succeed as much as you want to succeed yourself. And they want to help you show your best work. An apprenticeship is a huge achievement. It requires dedication, learning and resilience. Recognize your growth, celebrate your progress, and be proud of your journey. Your effort and commitment will pay off. Just keep pushing forward. During this training, we explored practical strategy and key insights to help manage stress effectively throughout the apprenticeship and endpoint assessment journey. So let's recap on some of the key learning outcomes from this session. We went through the best practices from an AO's perspective for stress management. We looked at guidance for each stage and understand what to expect before, during, and after the gateway. We provided some preparation tips to learn how to prepare effectively at each phase and to reduce stress and improve performance. We reviewed essential information and documentation, importance of having clear tools, templates and timelines to ensure learners and staff are informed. We discussed how organized documentation can alleviate stress and set clear expectations. We showcased that supporting employees before and during EPA created strategies to help learners manage stress as they approach the gateway. We looked at techniques to coach and support your staff, enabling them to guide learners effectively throughout the process. Jane ran through the command verbs and understanding these verbs, providing clarity on verbs like explain, describe, and evaluate, with real-life examples to help learners understand assessment criteria. We provided examples illustrating how responses differ based on the command verbs, ensuring that learners answer confidently and accurately. Finally, we reviewed alleviating assessment day stress, provided some best practices on the day for EPA, including preparation tips to help build confidence, mindfulness techniques to help manage nerves, creating a calm, supportive environment that enhances focus and reduces stress. By understanding stress and using these strategies, both learners and staff can feel more prepared, confident and supported throughout the whole apprenticeship. Together, we can create a positive and rewarding experience for everyone involved. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this training. We hope that you found these activities and the content useful. This is a small part of a wider program that we help and support our training providers with as part of our process. If you want to find out more about NQual, please do not hesitate to reach out and get in touch. If you'd like access to these resources and slides, then please reach out and we can share them with you.